Welcome, this is Mr. TG. This will be your last video for lesson 3.6, solving systems using the matrix method. In this problem, we're going to actually set up a word problem involving investments, and it's going to involve three variables and three unknowns. And I'm going to show you how you can actually use your calculator to calculate the three values that we're looking for. So first, let's read through it. What I need you to do is read through the problem carefully. Give yourself a moment just to highlight, and while you do that, I'll read through it and highlight some of the important information. So take time at this time to read the problem. Okay, welcome back. Let's read through this problem again together, and I highlight some of the important information that we're going to use to create our matrices. You invest $5,000 in three funds. After a year, you have $5,450. The funds are called growth funds, income funds, and money market. The growth fund had a rate of return of 12%. That's the interest you earn for that year. The income fund had a rate of return of 8%, and the money market fund had a rate of return of 5%. So we're getting different returns, obviously, from this problem. The growth fund had a much better rate. Income fund had 8%. And what this means is you're getting $8 back from the company for every $100 that you're investing if it's 8%. And then our money market just had a return of 5%. You're also investing twice as much in the income fund as the money market fund. How much money was invested in each of the funds? And we are capable of finding this. So the first thing you better do is identify variables. And I've already done this. If you take a look here, this is how we identify the three variables that we're trying to locate or find. We're going to let X be the growth fund, Y be the income fund, Z be the money market fund, and we're going to create a system with all these conditions. All right, and that's going to be located in the lower left. Here's the system that I created, and we'll explain. The top equation, X plus Y equals 5,000, simply involves that you are investing $5,000 in all three funds. It's the three funds added together that give you this total amount. The second equation calculates the interest earned. Now, hopefully you remember, but 12% as a decimal is 0.12. If we take that times X, or the amount we have in the growth fund, we'll calculate the interest earned. The same is true with the income fund. That was a growth fund. Now we're on the income fund. That's 8%, which is 0.08 times the amount of money we have in the income fund. Remember, it's 0.08. We move it left two places to get the decimal. And then 5% is 0.05. That's how much we have in the money market. Now, the reason this is $450 and not $5,450 is because this is our actual growth. We started with $5,000, we went to $5,450. And then the last equation simply tells us that we invested twice as much in the income fund as the money market fund. Now you'll notice the income fund is bigger, so we have to say Y is equal to 2Z to keep them equal. So you always double the smaller amount if they're doubled. So here we go. We got a system of three equations and three unknowns, and we can use our calculator and solve this, and we're going to use the matrix method to do that. So here's what we did. We want to make sure first that we put this bottom equation into standard form. So it's not in standard form yet. The rest of these are. You can see the X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. We want it in that order. So what we're going to do is subtract 2Z from both sides. Subtract 2Z from both sides. And you're going to end up with Y minus 2Z equals 0. There is no X term. So what this turns into is that. Just simply move it over to the other side. There is no X term again. Now, as a matrix, this is what it's going to look like. Our matrix method is going to look like this. Oops. Right here. Put this out of the way here. And then move this. All right, there's our matrix. Now, you can see where the numbers come from. The top row comes from the first equation. All these have coefficients of 1, and 5,000 is our last value. Then we use the coefficients here, 0.12, 0.08, 0.05, 450. And then notice we do not have an X term on the bottom, so we make that 0, 1, -2, and then 0. This is what we're going to enter into our calculator, and I would like to have you do that at this time. I'm going to hit pause while I pull my calculator up and enter this into the matrix like we did the matrix menu like we did in the previous problem, and then we'll show you what to do from there. Okay, welcome back. I pulled up my calculator. Now we're going to show you how to enter that matrix that we just created on the previous page in this calculator. So we're going to edit the matrix. You notice this 2 by 3 is from the previous problem. So you edit, enter, and we want to now create a 3 by 4 matrix. The matrix we just created has 3 rows and 4 columns. So you put 4 there. And then it's a matter of entering the data. So we got 1, 1, 1. Notice it goes off the screen on your calculator, but that's okay. Just continue with your arrows. We got 5,000 for our last number in row 1. And then we use our arrows to move around. Now we're going to go back over here. Now we're in row 2, and we've got, this is our interest accumulation, 0.12. So 12%, 0.08 was our 8%, 0.05 was our 5%, and then we had a $450 total of interest earned. And don't forget to enter, so it pops up there. Let's make sure it's there, because it does erase. It's there, but you just don't see it. It doesn't have space to show all 4 columns. So we're looking good so far. Then on the bottom row, you put in 0. We already have that. At least I do. Just enter 0 if you don't. 1, -2, and 0. So I think we're good to go. We got that 3 by 4 matrix. Remember what it represents. We're trying to find out what we have invested in all 3 funds. So then we quit out of that screen. You go to second matrix. We're going to definitely do some math, which means we want to calculate the reduced row echelon form. So let's go down to the RREF category, and we want that one. So we enter that, so it pops up on your screen. We hit second matrix again. We simply want to name it. So A pops up. If you name it one more time, you will see a series of numbers that occur. Now, again, if this has an answer, you'll see 1s in the main diagonal, which we do. So I know I've got a legitimate answer with 1s in the main diagonal with 0s in the other locations. The numbers in the last column will represent your different funds. This is the X value, the Y value, and the Z. So we got 2,000 in X, we got 2,000 in Y, and we got $1,000 in Z. Now let's look back at our notes and see what they stand for. We called those, we had 2,000 in our growth fund, 2,000 in our income fund, and 1,000 in our money market. And that would be our total. So you would label that as, this would be $2,000, this would be 2,000, and this one, of course, would be 1,000. And you can see the income fund is twice as much as the money market. So hopefully this went well. Let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully the toughest part of these problems, of course, is to set up the system. And the easiest part is the calculating part, because your calculator uses that. It's basically all calculator work after that. So good luck. Let me know if you have questions.